We're ready. We're going to be on camera. And welcome back to the Spokane Convention Center. We're in the middle of Game 1 of the wheelchair basketball event at the National Veterans Wheelchair Games. The white team is leading the Royal team 21-16 behind 7 points from Steve O'Brien. Austin, it seems like throughout the game, every time the Royal team tried to make a run, the white team would counter, and they've kept that lead around 4 or 5 points the whole night. What do you think the blue team has to do to try to come back?
Keep moving the ball and communicating, especially on defense. I mean, if they can communicate to keep the white team from scoring, then all they need to do is score a few, and the game's right there tied again. So, I mean, the more you can do on defense, the better you can.
21-16 is our score as we get ready to get things going here in the second half. White team leads 21-16. The Royal team will inbound it at half court. They send out a lineup of Millington, Whitwer, Boyce, Craig Shera, and Justin Eldridge. The white team sends out Shelby, McClary, Foster, O'Brien, and Rodriguez. Here's Eldridge, first shot of the second half, no good. And the white team controls. So not the way the Royal team wanted to start this second half, trailing by 5 points.
Yeah.
Let's see how they adjust on defense this time around. So Millington is out guarding O'Brien up top, doing a good job of keeping him on the perimeter. Here's Foster on the baseline, being guarded by Boyce. Now he tries to go through the lane, puts it up in traffic, no good. Rebound to the floor. Shelby comes away with it, he puts it up, but that shot is off. Another offensive rebound for Shelby, and he taps it out to McClary, but another missed opportunity after a couple of offensive rebounds. We've been seeing both these teams grab offensive board after offensive board this whole game, but we haven't seen them convert on too many second chance opportunities. Here's Millington around the free throw line, puts up a long shot, but that one is no good. So McClary will control for the white team. They still lead 21-16. Here's Rodriguez, long distance shot, no good, but McClary is underneath, and he's got it. So a second chance opportunity finally goes the white team's way. A couple possessions ago, we saw them grab a few offensive rebounds and not come away with any points. That time, though, McClary able to convert. The white team now leads 23-16, and McClary is now tied with Steve O'Brien for the team's leading scorer. They both have 7 points. Shera tries to find Millington, but that ball's tapped away. Good defense from O'Brien that time. Foster trying to start the fast break, finds Rodriguez going towards the basket. That shot is off. Rebound to the floor, and McClary comes down with it, and he puts it up and in. 2 straight possessions and 2 straight times that Glenn McClary has been in the right spot at the right time. He converts off the offensive rebound for another bucket and increases the white team's lead to 9, 25-16. 9 points on the night now for Glenn McClary. So the blue team is trying to respond, still looking for their first points of the second half. Ball is tipped away, but Shera controls. He's double teamed now by Foster and Shelby, looking for help, and a timeout called by the Royal team. Austin, you mentioned that the blue team was the team that needed a lockdown on defense, but the white team has come out on the defensive end and has really shut the blue team down. What are they doing out there?
They're talking for one, and they're making sure to get in position before the blue team does, and so that they can kind of have the ideal positions to keep the blue team out of the paint or the Royal team, and make it harder for them to score. So.
Hey, don't worry about that blue-royal mix-up. I've been doing it the whole game. They're wearing blue jerseys. Let's just call them the blue team.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
25-16 is our score. 17:29 remaining here in the second half. This is the first game of wheelchair basketball this week at the National Veterans Wheelchair Games. We'll be bringing you more as the week goes on, including the consolation and championship matches on Friday. Quick substitution for the white team. Shelby and Foster leave the ball game. They're replaced by Willie Harvey and Alan Lewis. Still the same 5 on the floor for the Royal team. That is Whitwer, Shera, Boyce, Millington, and Eldridge. Here's Millington, finds himself wide open underneath the basket, but he can't convert. The white team wasn't sure what was going on there. They were all in the backcourt. But McClary's there. Can they cherry pick and make it work? Yes, they can. Well, what could have been a disastrous situation ends up working for the white team. They got caught in the backcourt after some miscommunication, but the Royal team missed a shot, and McClary found himself in great position to put it up and in. As that ball goes out of bounds, the white team will control once again. They now lead 27-16.
Ready?
6 straight points to start this second half for the white team, while the Royal team is still looking for their first points of the second half. Foster back into the game. He finds O'Brien in the lane, and he puts it in. O'Brien makes it a 13-point lead for the white team. They lead 29-16. Millington trying to get something going for the Royal team. Here's Eldridge underneath. He can't convert on that shot. A foul going to be called. Looks like it's going to be on Alan Lewis. Foul actually being charged to Glenn McClary. And Justin Eldridge is going to go to the free throw line looking for the first points of the second half. Eight straight points to start the second half for the white team. But Eldridge trying to reverse that trend and give the Royal team their first points of the second half, but not on the first free throw. Eldridge now with his second attempt. That one rattles home. So first points of the second half for the Royal team, but they still trail by 12. 29-17 is our score. Here's Foster. Dumping it inside to Lewis, but he can't convert. And it's Boyce with the rebound. Very fluid offense we've seen from the white team so far in this second half. Good pass over to Millington. He's trying to weave his way into the lane. He's bumped, and a foul will be called. (29-17) is our score. Really a low-scoring game. Austin, is that fairly common in wheelchair basketball, or is it just this game itself being a low-scoring matchup?
It can be. Some of the games can get in the 70s, and some of them are lower. It just kind of depends on who you're playing and how evenly matched you are. So these two teams are, for the most part, pretty evenly matched. I mean, there's been a few communication problems, but
Alan Lewis foul as he goes to the lane. No, they're going to call an offensive foul on Alan Lewis. And the white team turns the ball over. A lot of contact there underneath. First offensive foul that we've seen so far in this ballgame.
yeah.
And we've talked a lot about how much contact you need to make with a chair-to-chair collision before it's considered a defensive foul. Do you see offensive fouls called a whole lot in wheelchair basketball?
Not too much, because the person that's defending you has to be completely still. They can't be rolling at all. But if they are completely still and the offense person runs into them, then that is an offensive foul. So it's not seen too much, because most people are rolling most of the time. So
Ball goes out of bounds. The Royal team will control. I can imagine it wouldn't be very common for a defensive player to be completely still, especially with the way that their momentum is carrying them all over the floor.
yeah, you have to basically grab your wheels and stop. And
Eldridge lost it for a moment, and Foster comes up with it. White team trying to get out on the fast break. 4 on 2 fast break. Here comes O'Brien from the left side. Stops, spins around, passes it inside to McClary. What a pass that time! Glenn McClary scores in the lane after a great spinning pass from Steve O'Brien.
They're doing pretty well at making sure the person with the best shot gets the ball.
Absolutely, and what a great heads-up play from Steve O'Brien to make sure that happened.
Yeah.
31-19 is our score. Glenn McClary has 13 points to lead all scorers in this one. Millington fouled that time by Willie Harvey as he tries to go to the basket. So a couple of substitutions into the ballgame for the Royal team. Hips and Lopez back in. Eldridge and Shera to go to the bench. 31-19 is our score. The white team has led this entire ball game. Lopez fires a shot from the baseline but can't convert. The Royal team is having a lot of trouble scoring in this second half. They've only scored 3 points. Here's McClary. He's got a full head of steam going to the basket. Flips it up and in. McClary's feeling it. He's on a roll. 15 points and his team jumps out to a 33-19 lead. Millington off a great pick from Lopez. Tries to find Hips inside. That ball is tapped. Foster comes away with it. White team on the run again. Foul call on Lopez that time on the pass off. Lopez doesn't like it. Thought that maybe it should have been an offensive foul or maybe that there was just incidental contact that time. Either way, white team has possession of the basketball. 33-19, they lead. McClary in the low post, he finds Lewis. Good pass inside to O'Brien, battling against Enrique Lopez. And the ball goes out of bounds to the Royal team. Good defense that time. That's what the Royal team needs to do if they want to trim into this lead.
Yeah, definitely.
As a defensive player, what sort of strategy are you looking for more? Is it more of getting into good position to prevent them from getting a good look? Or is it more of trying to get a hand in their face and preventing them to be able to see the basket on a shot? Or is it some sort of combination of the in between?
A lot of it's chair position. If you have good chair position, it makes it harder for them to do everything. So that's probably the main thing you're looking for. And then next would be getting the hand in their face, trying not to let them get the ball or get the shot off. But the main thing you want to do is get in a position to defend them.
Jake Hips scored the bucket on the other end for the Royal team, who now trail 33-21. Foster throws a cross-court pass. It was tipped for a moment, but Lewis controls. His shot is off. Rebound to the floor, battling around underneath the basket. Foster controls. Here's O'Brien going towards the basket. That one doesn't drop. Boyce throws it up the floor. Here comes Hips. 2 white players chasing him. Hips throws it up and gets it to go in. Willie Harvey and Alan Lewis not able to get to Jake Hips in time. It's now a 10-point lead for the white team. Royal team trying to come back. They've trailed this entire ball game. 33-23, the white team leads with 11:45 remaining here in the second half. Nobody checks Foster as he goes through the lane, puts it up and in, and the foul. Seemed like the defense fell asleep that time.
Yeah, it did. They need to be communicating a little better, make sure everybody's covered out there so that that doesn't happen. But
I think Larry Foster even was a little bit surprised himself to see the wide open path that he had to the basket.
yeah, it doesn't happen too much like that,
So Foster converted on that shot. He's going to go to the free throw line to finish off the three-point play. Terry Rock and John Christensen into the ballgame for the Royal team. Joshua Boyce and Charlie Whitworth have been taken out. So Foster trying to convert the three-point play, but isn't able to that time. Good outlet pass that time, but it's tapped away by Alan Lewis. Ball to the floor, McClary controls, finds Foster, puts it up and in. James Millington was right there, but he wasn't able to stop Larry Foster. 37-23 is our score. The white team continues to build on their lead. Here's Lopez going up against Willie Harvey. Now finds Millington down low, ball poked away. Out of bounds, the blue team will keep it underneath the basket. Here's John Christensen, can't knock it down from the elbow. Terry Rock is right there on the offensive board, but he can't convert either. Alan Lewis, though, had it in his hands. He lost it out of bounds. He's upset with himself, and the Royal team once again will take it out underneath the basket. So Millington inbounds to Hips. Good screen from Lopez. Hips taking his time. Hips tries to thread the needle that time to Millington, but it's poked away. The white team comes away with it. Cross-court pass taken by Alan Lewis. Now he finds O'Brien on the left side, barely corralling that one before it goes out of bounds. Good pass underneath to Larry Foster again. This time it doesn't drop. Gets his own board, but Christensen is right there with the interception. Throws it into traffic. Hips swinging his elbows around, trying to regain control. Foul going to be whistled that time. The fans love Jake Hips here at the Spokane Convention Center. So the white team leads 37-23, and the Royal team definitely has their work cut out for them if they want to try to make a comeback. 10:25 remaining in the second half. White team leads 37-23. Here's Lopez from the baseline, doesn't drop. Here comes O'Brien. He's met by a couple of defenders around the elbow. Now gives it to Joseph Sapienza. He loses control of the ball, and the Royal team trying to get down the court fast enough. Millington was looking that time for Christensen, but he wasn't paying attention. Throws inside. It looked like it was intended for either Hips or Rock. Either way, the two collide, and the ball goes out of bounds.
The white team's doing a fairly good job of getting in the blue team's way, so that's, I think, where a lot of their success has been coming from on the defensive end. And then good defensive plays can translate into fast breaks. So.
And one thing we haven't seen from the blue team so far in this second half has been fast break opportunities. It seems like everything has been done in a half-court set, and they haven't been able to get anything going on offense.
Yeah.
Here's Sapienza. Spinning around, now finds Alan Lewis around the free throw line. Ball poked away, going towards midcourt. It's going to be a race between Lewis and Christensen towards the corner. Christensen able to keep it in bounds, but the ball goes off of the tire of Terry Rock and out of bounds. Spoils a great hustle play from John Christensen, who chased that ball down from 3/4 of the court to keep it in play. So with 9 minutes remaining, the white team leads 37-23. Foster again trying to go to the basket. He's met by a couple of defenders. Terry Rock, good defense that time. He ties up Foster. Possession arrow favors the white team. So great defense from Terry Rock, able to get his hands on it. So O'Brien will control around the three-point line, and more good defense from Terry Rock. Pass inside is off the hands of Alan Lewis and out of bounds. Joshua Boyce set to come back into the ball game.
That time the white team seemed to be all kind of congregated in the same spot.
I'm not sure who Boyce came into the ball game for. It looks like it's going to be John Christensen. For a moment, it looked like there were 6 players on the floor.
Yeah.
So James Millington, he's been quiet so far here in the second half, as has his entire team. Millington looks like he's going to take it himself, puts it up in the key, off the back of the rim, rolls around, and the white team controls. Here comes O'Brien on the fast break, but the white team doesn't have numbers. Looks like they're going to hold up. Foster weaves it around, now finds Alan Lewis going towards the basket, flips it up, no. Second attempt, up off the backboard. Fighting around for the basketball underneath the hoop. And it looks like the Royal team has regained control. Now under 8 minutes remain here in the second half. 10-second violation called. Royal team not able to get it over the half-court line. Second time this ball game we've seen that happen with the Royal team. Credit a good half-court trapping defense by the white team that time.
Yeah. I think has a lot to do with their lead right now in this game. So if they just keep up their defense and they're getting pretty good.
The white team leads 37-23 with 7 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the second half. Foster can't control that pass off of his chest and out of bounds. So the blue team regains control of the basketball, looking to try to trim into this lead, but they've had a lot of trouble on offense here in the second half. They've only managed 7 points to the white team's 16 points. 37-23 is our score. Here's Hips trying to squeeze through Sapienza and one of his own teammates, but loses control. Alan Lewis trying to go coast to coast all the way to the basket. Lays it up and in. Alan Lewis got the momentum and never looked back that time. 39-23 is our score as the white team continues to pile it on. Millington over to Terry Rock in the lane. Got it! Just the 9th point of the half for the Royal team. Lewis double teamed underneath the basket, flips it over. That one's intercepted by Enrique Lopez. Lobs it out towards half court. Here comes Jake Hips. Steve O'Brien is right on his tail. Hips going towards the hoop, puts it up off the backboard that time. Good defense. Foul called on Terry Rock. So the white team will have it with 6 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the second half. Sapienza out, Shelby in for the white team. The white team sends out a lineup of Shelby, O'Brien, Lewis, McClary, and Foster. The blue team has Rock, Millington, Boyce, Lopez, and Hips. Here's O'Brien, fires a shot from the baseline and knocks it down.
The white team is really starting to find their groove in this half, so they're looking pretty good right now.
They've jumped out to a commanding lead, 41-25, with just under 6 minutes remaining. Lopez fires a shot of his own. That one's off. Nobody able to grab it except for Jake Hips. His shot is off. He falls over. Trying to get up in time to get back on defense, having a little bit of trouble over there. Here comes O'Brien. The white team has numbers. McClary to the basket. Nice pass over to Foster. Foul called on Lopez that time on the pass off. I have to think that was a good foul because Foster was in a great position to just put it up and in underneath the basket.
Yeah, and if he were to have missed it, they had their 2 other players right down there too, so.
Alan Lewis goes out. Joanne Rodriguez back into the game for the white team. Shelby inbounds it and finds O'Brien. Looking towards the key, here's McClary. Not able to knock down the jumper from 15 feet. O'Brien again. Shot is off, but a foul called, so he's going to head to the charity stripe. Interesting thing I've noticed so far about the game is that we haven't seen any three-point attempts at all from either one of these teams. Austin, as someone who plays wheelchair basketball, do you see a whole lot of three-point attempts? I know it's got to take a lot of upper body strength to be able to hoist it from that far.
Yeah, most of the time you just try to get the easy inside shot. But I mean, if you, once in a while you run into a person who's really good at that three-point shot, and they'll take it a little more often. But most of the time you just try to work it in down low, unless you really need to have threes because you're behind or something. But.
Hips went down in a heap. Looks to be all right though. He's got a smile on his face as he gets back up. And he receives a good hand from this crowd here at the Spokane Convention Center. So the white team leads 43-25 with under 5 minutes remaining. Here's Andre Shelby, the gold medal table tennis player. His pass is off the mark, intercepted that time by the Royal team. Long pass down the floor. That one is poked away by Shelby. And Foster comes up with it. Here's McClary. He's had the hot hand this second half. Puts it up in traffic, rims out. That ball goes out of bounds, back to the blue team. The blue team's got a lot of work in store for them if they want to try to make a comeback. They trail by 18 points with under 4.5 minutes remaining in this ball game. Here's Hips from the baseline. That shot looked like it was blocked by Rodriguez. Ball poked away. Millington comes away. Rodriguez blocks him from behind. Couple of great defensive plays from Joanne Rodriguez. Whistle on a foul. Looks like they're going to call the foul on Enrique Lopez. So the Royal team sends out a lineup of Hips, Lopez, Boyce, Rock, and Millington. For the white team, it's Rodriguez, McClary, Foster, Shelby, and Willie Harvey, who just checked into the game for Steve O'Brien. So Larry Foster going to head to the free throw line. Foster has 7 points, all of those coming in the first half. My apologies, those 7 points actually were to Steve O'Brien in the first half. They look kind of similar. Nevertheless, Larry Foster does have 7 points at the moment. So Foster is going to head to the free throw line. I'm not exactly sure at the moment if this is a 1-and-1. Yes, it looks like it's going to be a 1-and-1 free throw. First one is off. Rebound to Millington. The Royal team is running out of time here in game one. They trail 43-25. Foul called away from the ball that time. Millington was over near the basket, but that foul was whistled on the near side near us. Looks like it was an offensive foul called away from the ball, so the white team is going to control. John Bennett checks back in for the white team. And looks like Joanne is going to head out. Joanne Rodriguez. She has 4 points on the night. She checks out in favor of John Bennett. So they dump it inside to Willie Harvey. A little bit of a hook shot, and he's got it. First points of the ball game for Willie Harvey, and it comes on a shot that's nearly impossible to block. That hook. Hips dumps it